This video is brought to you by my two books, Practical Music Theory for the Rock Guitarist and The Blues Guitar Bible. Want to learn about modes, harmony, scales, chord substitution and keys? Or maybe you're interested in supercharging your blues guitar rhythm and lead chops. Whatever you're interested in, I guarantee you will be hitting the fast lane to progress with either of these works. Both feature video demonstrations and tutorials, loads of tabs and jam tracks to play along with, and I promise you, everything is explained in crystal clear plain English. Check out the links in the description for more details. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. If you were watching on Thursday, you'll have seen me giving my first impressions once over of this guitar here. What is it? It is a Gear4Music LA Select model. Essentially a budget HSS Strat style thing with an ash body and a maple neck, Wilkinson pickups, Jatoba fretboard and stainless steel frets. All of that for $79.99. Yes, stainless steel frets for 80 quid. My first impressions were, well, not entirely positive of the guitar, and we'll expand a little bit more on that after we've heard what this guitar sounds like in a mix. And as always, there's a full tab for that piece of music in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, along with a clip of me playing it and a jam track to play along with yourself. That is all, as usual, up on my Patreon page. There's the address. Link is in the description. $3 or about £3 a month gets you access to all of these additional goodies that go along with these YouTube videos. And of course, a massive, humongous, heartfelt thank you to everyone who supports me in that or any of the other ways, all of which are downstairs in the description. Yeah, this guitar wasn't sent to me. It's not one of these kind of things where a company sends out a guitar to a YouTube channel to say nice things about it. I bought this guitar with my own money, and So therefore, all opinions are very definitely my own. The first impressions I got were basically that it had a ridiculously high action, and you know, it wasn't very well. It wasn't set up at all, really. That said, the truss rod seemed to be dialed in particularly well. My main beef with the guitar was that there are numerous high frets, which are going to need sorting out. More on that later. You can hear there's a real kind of proper sizzler here up at the 14th fret. Yeah, kept landing on that when I was doing that demo piece, and had to think, well, yeah, I'm gonna have to do another take, because I'm gonna have to play another lick at that point which doesn't land on that note, because it was a bit sort of obvious when it happened. Yeah, it is what it is. It's a cheap guitar. The neck, as I said in Thursday's video, feels like the necks on those Glary guitars, where they got it to a certain point of sanding and kind of finishing, and then just left it. There's more work to be done on that. But I'll tell you what, let's have a little bit of a look at some weights and measures for this guitar. 3.37 kilos in terms of 3.37 kilos in terms of weight, an average weight, neither kind of a lightweight like Glary guitars always tend to be, and it's not a boat anchor either. It's sort of right in the middle there somewhere. Nut width 42.5mm, 1st and 12th fret neck profiles there, a ridiculously flat 16-inch fretboard radius. Fretboard radiuses have never been something that have troubled me in the past, but this one, after I'd finished playing that little demo piece, my hand was aching. I found it really fatiguing on my fretting hand. And you know, DC pickup readings there. You got the typically hot bridge humbucker there, 13.38k, and a pair of more vintage voiced single coils at about 6.6k plus change each. So you know, it is what it is. It's a cheap guitar that they've bunged some stainless steel frets into without really giving it much more you know, love than that. I would rather at this price point, because this is the kind of guitar that's going to go to a beginner, I would rather at this price point that they'd just put nickel frets in. You know, I love stainless steel frets. My 3 main guitars have all had stainless steel frets fitted. I do love them. That's what made me kind of curious about this guitar. But at this kind of price point for a beginner's guitar, I would much rather that they'd put just regular nickel frets in and done a little bit more of a setup on it. Either that, or go with the stainless steel option and just show it a bit more love, give it a bit of a proper setup, send it out in, you know, in a condition where it doesn't have thick end of a 3mm action. That would increase the cost, obviously, but even you know, if you were to take this guitar and, you know, set it up properly and dress the frets, level and crown them and everything, then you'd probably be looking at thick end of a 250 quid guitar. That's still a good spec for that kind of money. That's sort of Harley Benton Fusion kind of prices, isn't it? Tickling the bottom end of that. And they could have had a hit on their hands, but for just, you know, penny pinching, you know, giving it what looks like a good on paper spec, but not really kind of sending it out in a, you know, a very playable form, then, you know, it's I think they've shot themselves in the foot a little bit. Is this guitar worth buying as a modding platform? Potentially, yes. If the 16-inch fretboard radius isn't an issue for you, then you could have a lot of fun modding this. The pickups, as you heard in that demo there, they do the thing. I'm not going to say that it was the best HSS set of sounds that I've had out of a guitar lately, but, you know, it was I could imagine somebody being happy with those kind of tones. By the way, the sounds I was using there, as usual, Blue Guitar Amp 1 Mercury Edition on the vintage channel for the crunchy sounds, clean sounds with a clean channel on the amp, and the sort of higher gain solos were the classic channel with the foot switchable boost. I usually mention that, but I forgot today. So those were the sounds I was getting, and they didn't sound horrible. It sounded usable, in fact. So you might want to change the pickups, you might not. You would certainly want to have the frets looked at. Maybe you get a good one. Maybe you get one that doesn't have those dead spots and sizzly frets. But I did, so there's a fair chance that you probably will as well. It's not a guitar that I like, this, if I'm honest with you. I've made the videos with it now, and the overwhelming sense of the emotion I get from that is it's just a relief that I don't have to play it anymore. Because, as I say, that little demo tune took maybe an hour or two to put, well, a couple of hours to put together, and my hand was really feeling the fatigue after doing it. So what am I going to do with this guitar then? Well, normally any guitar that is just a cheap thing like this, I'll do the videos and then I'll just use it as a tax write-off and give it to Zoe's Place Baby Hospice, the local charity around here that I support. But I don't really feel comfortable sending out a guitar that is, it's got the issues that this has, mainly the frets. As that said, the fret ends are pretty good, but the neck could do with a little bit more love, and the frets definitely need sorting out, and so on. This would end up going to some beginner that Zoe's Place would either raffle it off to or sell it onto, and I would rather a beginner got a more well set up instrument than this. Problem is there that I don't have the time. I don't have the time in my diary to do the necessary work on this. But I know someone that does. If you're a fan of Milehouse Studios, the guitar builder and luthier from, I think he's down somewhere in the West Country, isn't he, near Plymouth. He does a Monday video all about, kind of fettling up and, kind of enhancing the playing experience of cheap guitars like this. So I've been in touch with Paul at Milehouse, and I'm told him I'm sending this guitar down to him. So you'll probably, the next time you'll see this guitar, not just this model, but this actual guitar, will be on Milehouse Studios channel, so keep an eye out for that. So there you go, those are my thoughts, my review, my assessment of the Gear4Music LA Select model. Make of it what you will. I was curious about this guitar, and I've scratched that itch, and now it's time to move it on to somebody who can make a nicer guitar out of it. And Paul will be making his videos then. He sells the guitars off and donates the proceeds to his chosen charities. So he'll tell you all about that in the video that he does all about this guitar when he gets it. But that's it for today, folks. Hope you've enjoyed this video and found it informative and useful, and hopefully entertaining in some small way. And if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so. And why not drop me a like as well while you're at it. Don't forget the live stream every Friday, 5 PM UK time. We drink beer and talk about music and guitars and stuff. Basically, it's a great way to kick off the weekend, and I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.